Hi there, this is Kara over at Kara's Claws, and today I'm going to be doing a manicure using my trio of the week, and these colors are Mirabelle, Mosaic, and Fuzzy Comfy Socks. So every week I'll be doing a trio where I offer it as a discount where you can have the trio picked out for you, so it takes the guesswork out of choosing what colors to do for your manis. I thought that would be helpful, and I really love using 3 colors, so I thought it would be helpful for everybody else. So I am using the gel method when I'm doing this one. I am using all of my products. I have gel base that is HEMA free and 9 free. So if you're someone who struggles with dip flu or even a gel allergy, this could be a really good option for you. I like to always remember with thermals to shake up or mix the jar before you use it because the pigments can tend to settle, and you just want to make sure you get a really good even thermal change with that. So when I'm doing the gel method, I like to pour over just because the gel is not going to dry until you cure it. So I don't want it to smudge or have a little dent at the end from dipping, so I like to pour it over. If you see that there is anything on the side walls or on your cuticles, you can take a little tool to go around your cuticles. I really like the brushes with my gels because they're really thin, so you're able to get in there nicely and takes out a lot of the cleanup work for you. So if I'm doing different colors, I like to do all the nails that are going to have the same color at the same time. So it's just easier. I already have the color out. I don't worry about mixing them with the other ones. So you want to make sure to do thin, even layers with the gel. And you'll see me go back and actually pour over again over my thumb as the gel kind of soaks it in, and it still is going to be thin, but I just like to do another layer just to get it really covered in there. You want to make sure to cap your edges. I didn't use peel base this time. I got too impatient and didn't want it to dry, so this is staying on until I file it off. I just have builder gel underneath. I was going to do peel base, but yeah, I just ran out of time and didn't want to wait for it. So again, I'm pouring over, and I just find that that method is the best with gels. So my office is in our basement and it's freezing cold. So normally when you're doing your manicure with the thermals, you'll see the change, but my office is so cold. So you'll just see the cool temperature for this one, but I will post some pictures in this video of the finished product when I actually have the thermal change to show. So next, I am going to be doing the color Fuzzy Comfy Socks. It's a really pretty purplish, and it's got some purple glitter pieces in it too that are pretty small. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of a cuticle design for this one. But first I'm just going to do my coat of the Fuzzy Comfy Socks. Next, I'm going in with my chunky glitter, which is called Mosaic. And with chunky glitters, I like to pour them out into a little cupcake liner, and you'll see me, I'll kind of shimmy it so that it brings the pieces to the top and kind of makes them flat. A lot of people have a hard time with chunky glitters, and I definitely did when I first started dipping. And With gel, you don't actually want to cap it in clear because it can end up looking bubbly and kind of cloudy. So I'm going to show you, but I like to cap mine in builder gel actually. If you don't have builder gel, you could just do a layer of your base coat of gel, and you could even do a layer of the top coat again and then buff it and then go in and then put another layer on top. So I lay it in and I kind of rock my finger side to side so that it gets the side walls and everything. And then I go in with just my finger and pat it down. You can see I'm using my little cuticle stick, and I love gel for this reason because you can have plenty of time to get the pieces perfect how you want them, remove pieces like that, and you can even add a little bit more gel, stick it on with your cuticle tool, and place some more of your pieces. So again, I just love gel for this reason. And then you're able to get it really flat and perfect so that once you cure it, it's exactly how you want it. And I did go over it with builder gel, but you definitely could just do a couple layers of your base coat because it's going to already be flat. If you do have some that are really sticking up after you cure it, you can even use cuticle nippers to kind of cut off the pieces that are sticking up so that when you go into file, it's not going to dull them or change the colors. So a lot of times glitter is just silver with color over top of it. So if you file it too much, it'll just turn the glitter silver, and nobody wants that. So again, I'm just pressing it with my finger. I love this glitter. It's so reflective. So I wanted to call it Mosaic. It just reminded me of the reflections, and I love it. So I'm curing that quick because I want it to stay where I want it. So next I'm going to go in and do my full pinky and then the ring finger with the Mosaic as well. So now I am doing my pinky with the full layer of Mosaic, so I'll let you watch me do that again so you can get a little better idea of how to do the chunky glitters with the gel method. now I'm going in and doing a second coat of my thermal, and then I'll also do a second coat of, or no, I'm not doing the second coat of my glitters. That is also what I love about this. These glitters are one coat and you're done. So if you were to be dipping on your natural nails, you might want to do a layer of clear first, just so that you can build them up a little bit, or however many layers you like. If you're doing dip, you could do a layer of clear, a layer of the chunky glitter, and then another layer of clear to encapsulate. But for me, since I already have builder gel on my nails, the apex is already built up and they're strong enough. I only need one coat of those glitters. So that saves me some time. But again, if you are doing it on your natural nails, feel free to do 2 dips of the glitter, or you can sandwich it between the clear. So I'm just going over with my base coat again, making sure I'm really getting the sides. I kind of like to pull down the side of my skin so I can really get the sides and not miss any parts of my nail. And this part is nice because, again, you can just take your time, but also I feel like somehow it still is faster than dip liquids. A lot of it is just personal preference, or like I mentioned before, if you have allergies, really these work great with dip liquids or gel. Something that I really like is they're seem to be a little bit thinner when I use gel, so when I already have my nails built up, I can still do 2 coats and it doesn't look too thick or bulky. So the next part is when I'm going to be adding the little cuticle accent detail, whatever you want to call it. Super fun. I didn't even think about it when I was doing this, but I actually was inspired by Chelsea at Sip and Dip. I was watching some of her YouTube videos, and it didn't even occur to me that that's why I decided to do this. But now that I'm thinking back, I remember I just watched her video where she did a really super cute cuticle accent swoop. So shout out to Chelsea. Thank you for inspiring this. You were in my mind when I wasn't even thinking about it. So that is going to be a really easy one, an easy accent for me. She used dip liquids, and so when she did the dip liquids, she recommended doing a slower drying dip, which gives you more time to do the accent. And my dip liquids are medium drying, so it actually is perfect for when you want to do fun little designs. So I would definitely recommend using those if you need them or if you want to try this. So I put a layer of base coat on my entire nail, and I really make sure to get close to my cuticle line because that's exactly where I'm going to be placing these glitters. So I want to make sure the line is exactly how I want it to look. So I'm going to put a whole layer. So this is just one coat of that Fuzzy Comfy Socks because it did really good coverage and I didn't feel the need to do a different layer. If you're doing this with a different color and it looks like it needs another layer, then feel free to go in and first do another layer of your solid color. So I'm just really making sure to get in there and get all the sides and make sure it's ready for my beautiful glitter accent. So like I was saying before, you can kind of see on my middle finger where it looks like the gel has soaked in the dip and it looks wet again. So you don't have to worry. You can just pour over again and it will soak it up and it's not going to look bulky or anything, but that's just how I like to do it. So then again, you don't want to get any kind of gel on your skin. You don't want to cause any unnecessary allergies or issues. So that was just me wiping it off the side. I'm going to use that little tool again to get a little bit of base on my brush or on my tool so that I can pick up the glitters more easily. I'm just kind of bringing them to the top to get some of the bigger pieces and some of the pieces that I want to use. And then I just go in and place them each how I want. Some of them don't want to cooperate, but for the most part, it went pretty well. This is a really fun part. I love doing fun designs, getting creative, trying things that I've seen other people try. So definitely, if you struggle with this at the beginning, keep trying because it definitely gets easier. And honestly, it does make a difference having good quality products. I started off with some pretty cheap ones that always got all gunky and contaminated and just made me mad. So it's definitely made a difference. And when I was finding and on my search for dip liquids and gel liquids to offer on my site, it was super important that they are user-friendly and high quality without all the unnecessary bad ingredients in them. So here you can see I'm just kind of picking up. And once they're even on your nail, you'll be able to move them around a little bit. With this, I wouldn't recommend doing like a tap ombre with a brush just because a lot of times for me with these bigger glitters, it's just going to pick up the tiny ones only. So if you wanted to do that, you could maybe start off with that and then go in and place them. But I just find this easier. I'm already doing it. Might as well just place them all. So I went in and cured that all for 60 seconds, and now I am brushing off the excess. And then I am going to go in with another layer of base coat. So that's what is gonna encapsulate my dips and my glitters. So instead of doing a layer of clear or worrying about messing up everything when I'm buffing it, I'm going to go in with a layer of base coat on my solid ones, and then I'll do base coat and then builder gel to encapsulate the glitters. You'll see I forget to do the ring finger with the builder gel, but I eventually get it. So this is just going in with a base coat on every single nail, and you always will do this when you are doing the gel method. So once you're all done and you have your dip how you want it to be, just go in with your gel base coat, and that's going to create a barrier between your filing and buffing and your dips. in with my builder gel on my glitter nails. This is a builder gel that I am testing out to hopefully be able to use on my site. I am just trying to figure out if I love it for sure. This is only like my second time using it. So I wanted to see how it goes with encapsulating glitters, and I really like it. The clarity is amazing. It's a really nice consistency. Sorry, I got a little bit out of focus here. I was distracted. So you can see I'm just going over it with the builder gel. I'm not doing a super thick layer because it really is pretty flat. So it just needs a little bit of cushion room so that when I go in and buff, it's not going to take off my pretty glitters. So I'm doing the same thing with that other full glitter, and I should have done it on my ring finger, but at this point I forgot, so I had to go back and do it. But I would do the same thing on that, and you can add a little bit more on that ring finger where the purple is so that it blends, if that makes sense. So you don't have to do as much on the glitter part, but then a little bit more on the rest of the nail so that it blends nicely and you have less to file. And I'm holding my hand upside down to kind of draw the gel to the middle of my nail where the apex is to give it a nice shape. And it just, I think I did that for about 10 seconds just to give it, again, that little shape. So I went ahead and cured for 60 seconds, and then I took a little piece of paper towel with alcohol and wiped off all of my nails to get that tacky layer. So then I am ready to file, and I think that's when I realized I didn't put on, the builder gel on that ring finger. So I'll show you how I do that and how it can blend seamlessly without having to do a layer of clear like you normally would if you are doing an ombre with dip liquids. So you just, again, my room is so cold. So it was, I should have like warmed it up in a bowl of water first because it is seriously freezing down here. So don't judge it by that. It's normally easier and not as sticky, I guess you would say. So I'm just going in, making sure I'm getting every piece of glitter color covered and covering up the rest of the nail and making it a smooth transition. So now all my nails are cured and I am going to go in to file and buff. And honestly, I barely had to file and buff at all. This is me seasoning my file. You want to do this with a new file so that the edges aren't super, super sharp. And it just helps not cut yourself. And I love, love, love these white files. My friend Christine sends me them and she's a saint. I love her. I honestly don't know where to get them because she gets them at like this beauty supply store, but if I can find any like this, I will post a link. Otherwise, I like to send them in orders every once in a while. So if you do want one and you order, just shoot me a message or an email that you want one of these and I'll throw it in because she gives them to me, so I would love to share the love. So again, with this, I am just going around the edges and it barely needed any filing at all. I actually don't know what grit this is, but I would guess that it's 100, 180, just like typical. It might be a little bit more coarse on one of the sides. One of the sides is pretty coarse, but I would guess that it's about 100, 180, maybe a little bit more coarse. So I actually have a glass file, the Ergo one that's for your cuticles, but I honestly just like using this one around my cuticles and for everything. I couldn't really get the hang of it, so I just figured if this is working, I'm going to keep doing it. So you can go through and you can feel if there's any rough spots, if there's any glitter sticking up, or if your shape got a little less crisp than you would like, and just go in and use your file. I used my buffer just to blend where I filed a little bit, so you can see I'm feeling, and there's a spot that's a little bit rough, so I go ahead and buff that out. I will link these buffers because I get these on Amazon. They're pretty cheap and I love them. I like that they don't leave any kind of residue. Like there's been a couple files that I liked, but they would leave like black flakes on my nails and I don't have time for that. So I really love these. And they're the perfect grit for really smoothing out your nails and getting any of the imperfections out. So I am just going to buff these, and once you're done buffing, I like to use a little scrub brush with some alcohol and wipe them right off. You can use something called a slip solution, and I think it's just alcohol with maybe 100% acetone and a couple other things in it, but honestly, the alcohol works totally fine for me. So last step is using your gel top coat. So you go in, really make sure you cap the edges and get it covered everywhere. And again, if your room is cold, I would suggest even putting your liquids in a bowl of warm water. If it's gels, dip's probably not going to make that big of a difference. It just can give you a little bit better of a consistency. It was working fine for me, so I didn't bother. But here I am just using it to cap all the edges and go all around to get everything. And I love watching the gel top coat go on and just brings out all the beautiful glitter and everything. So I love it. This gel top coat is near and dear to my heart because I had been searching for one and wanted one that was super shiny, and this definitely did not disappoint. It's also really important to me, like I said before, that it is HEMA-free for anyone who has allergies or just wants something that's a little bit less full of chemicals. And it's 9-free, so I'll leave all the information on my liquids and these dips. Another thing I wanted to mention, sorry, I need a drink of water, is I am having a 20% off sale. So this trio is actually included in the sale. So it's on the site it is $20, and it's also going to be 20% off. So if you don't want to miss this. This is a good one. I really, really love it. And I'll make sure to also post pictures of the finished product so you can see the temperature change. It changes to a really pretty pink when it's warm, and I'm just obsessed with the more neutral kind of thermals. I mean, if you know me, you know that I'm obsessed with all of the thermals, but this is more my color palette that I really love. So I was really excited putting this together and really happy with how it turned out. And yeah, I'm just excited to see what everyone else creates with this. Another thing is during the winter months, it's so important to be using your cuticle oils, and I seriously have them in every room of my house, in my purse, in my van, just all over the place so that I can keep these cuticles hydrated. And I really feel like it helps me go longer between having to change out my builder gel, and I mean, you already know that I change my mayonnaise a lot, but if you're looking for longevity, it can really help. It's just important to take care of your skin and your nails, and it starts at the cuticle. So here it's personal preference. I just kind of like to do my thumb last because I end up bumping it and smudging it if I don't. So once I get this done, And again, if you're using peel base, you really want to make sure to cap your edges if you want to go a little bit longer before they pop off. And even if you're not using peel base, it's important to cap the edges, but just especially if you're using that. I actually just found a peel off base that's a gel base that someone on Instagram shared. So Pandemic Nails, yeah, that's you. I hope I'm saying it right. My brain isn't working. So I'm going to order that and try and let you know. So now you actually can see the thermal. Good. I'm glad that it was. I couldn't remember. I'm finishing up with my Cuticle Oil. I think this is raspberry lemonade scent, which I love. I think my favorite still is the lemon crumble. It smells so good. So if you haven't tried that, definitely check it out. Thank you so much for watching with me today and joining me doing my nails. I cannot wait to see what you use. And again, don't forget to check out the sale, and I'll post all the information in the description. Thanks so much.